First of all, streams. Let's talk about that for a minute. We'll go right down the outline. We'll get to reservoirs in a minute. Every stream has water rights. And so there are designated first users, second users, and so on right down the line in the West. That isn't always true everywhere in the world, but in the western United States, that's how it works. We have water use. Unfortunately, a lot of streams are over appropriated. They have granted more water rights than there is water in the stream. That becomes a big problem. And it happens on these little small streams like Mill Creek, like the Walla Walla River. It doesn't happen on the Snake River or the Columbia River. Those streams have plenty of water. But yeah, those are streams. They look like lakes, don't they? Down through this area, they sure look like lakes. And a problem with streams are that they're inconsistent. You don't know from day to day how much water is going to come down the stream. Certain times of the year you get way more than you want. Other times of the year you get way less than you want. And so that all has to be metered out and parceled out to the users. Now, certain times of the year everybody can water as much as they want. Other times of the year hardly nobody can water because there just isn't any stream flow there. And we're also having to deal with a few other outside entities. The number one in the issues of today are the fisheries, mainly salmon and steelhead. And preserving and rebuilding the old runs of those two species. And that's going to be a huge issue in the Northwest for many years to come. Another would be maintaining enough stream life to keep the biological system of the stream active. You have a very large support system along that stream of different plants and other animals that are dependent on that stream along with those fish. And so there are potential other species that could be detrimentally affected if we take all the water from that stream. And we do that effectively. When you go down past Touchy here, west in this valley, down at that 9-mile bridge between Touchy and Wallula, during the middle of summer there will be virtually no water flowing down the Walla Walla River. We are irrigating every drop of that water out of that stream. So we have destroyed the habitat in that stream for whatever basic species that try to survive in it. For quite a few miles, actually.
So does it just start flowing again?
As soon as the fall rains come and the irrigation pressure lets off. See, now there's no more irrigation in the orchards, for example. They've shut down. So, and that's the main irrigation demand off of the Walla Walla River is the Milton Free Water Orchard District. As soon as the orchards don't need any more water, then they let all of the stream flow back down the channel. So now there's a flow down the Walla Walla River again. Now, but now as soon as it gets to state line, then the Burlingame ditch steals it and runs it down through all that alfalfa seed country, and they're pre-irrigating with it. So they're not letting it get by them right now, or very much of it getting by them. So right now there's pretty low stream flows. And it's really hard for the salmon and the steelhead because they migrate according to water temperature. Not necessarily flow. People think it's always stream flow that determines whether or not they migrate. No, they migrate according to temperature. If the water temperature gets above a certain degrees, they can't live in it. So they have to stay where the water temperature stays cool enough that they can survive. And it's a process of the way they absorb oxygen and so on through their bodies. So they sit down there in that Columbia River waiting for the stream to cool down enough to migrate up the Walla Walla River. and they won't migrate up until the water temperatures drop. So they just stay down there and swim in circles, waiting for the river to cool down. And in the meantime, while they're swimming around in circles down there, it's like shooting fish in a barrel when you're down fishing, because you got them basically trapped in a spot where they can't really move from, and then it's the slaughter takes place by the fishermen, the ones that know how to catch them. It becomes pretty easy to catch them at that point, because they get basically trapped in their own environment in that water temperature. Now, as soon as the water cools down in the stream, which it will now that now the daily temperatures are cool, all the streams are cooled down now, the fish are moving. But they really wanted to move in September, but the water was too warm in September. That's when they come up the river, up to Columbia. And then they sit down there and swim around for a month, waiting for the Walla Walla to cool down before they can run up the Walla Walla. And basically what they're waiting for is the irrigators to quit watering so that water does move down through the river system, that cold water from up in the watersheds.